It's Monday morning, September 29th. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to the Morning Market Report here on the Piper Academy Network. Arby Piper, I hope Gypsy is all better, Alexandra G. Thank you for asking. She's doing phenomenally better. We think that she is allergic to her Cytopoint allergy injection. So we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. But let's go ahead. Let's talk about what's going on this week. We got some events going on, guys. Big job numbers week. We got unemployment coming up at the end of the week, and then plus we've got threat of a government shutdown. You knew, and we got a bounce. You guys can see it right here. You guys see that bounce right there, right there. Platinum pocket. Got the bounce. We talked about it on Friday. We were in key support levels, critical support. We got our bounce, and now look at us heading right up past the 50, past the golden pocket, past the 50. He could go all that way. We're almost to the 382, 113,892. There is our next level of fibs here. Looking at the crypto bubbles today, guys, we do have a lot of green on the daily. How about the hourly? Also a lot of green. So we're going to get into all of this, break it all down for you, talk about what you need to know this week. And hopefully you guys are looking over at the Discord because we got that big DCA Monday. It's here, guys, and we just dropped the levels this morning. I got them all updated. Plus, we got the OGs joining us over here, the Otter gang. Go ahead and drop the Otters in the chat. We'll roll this. I'll catch you on the other side. You guys know what time it is. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I was muted. I just muted myself. Hey, I got that ability. Unmute myself. It's the IkiGai. Guys, if you guys don't know what the IkiGai is, it's IkiGai. It's a Japanese word for finding a hobby that you enjoy doing that pays bills. Anyway, long story short, old creepy guy that trading crypto. Yep. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. Appreciate y'all being here. Welcome to the show of the IkiGai. But you know what makes the show a little less icky? It's my co-host. It's the OC guy. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? You bring all the beauty to the show. That's what your job is here. Bring the beauty. You do it well every day. What's up, man? How was your weekend?
Oh, it was pretty good. Finally made some really substantial progress on my kitchen. The refrigerator is back into the kitchen. The cookware is back into the kitchen. The microwave is back into the kitchen. So finally getting my kitchen back, almost done. I did bust my ass this weekend working on it, and I'm done. Anything else, cabinets and everything that I promised I was going to say it, I just unpromised that we're gonna call a workshop to get those zones. The design is ours, but I mean, man,
know your limitations. Know your limitations. That's the key. Know when this is outside of my wheelhouse. I'm not going to be able to do it. If you guys were over at Alex O, I was wondering why he didn't reference the most dangerous bear, the pie bear. The pie bear is a very dangerous bear. He was talking about bears, grizzly bears, brown bears, polar bears. We got bear education this morning, and now we no pie bear. So there you go. OC, what are we looking at on the Bitcoin chart, man? Let's go ahead and get into this. I got a lot of news to unpack today, guys. We're going to talk about the stock market right now, gold. We got to talk about that. A lot of stuff going on there. We got to talk about the government shutdown. I'm looking right here. Return history, how we're looking for the month. We got to talk about mass firings of federal workers. So if we do get a government shutdown, what does that look like for future employment? We got to talk about how does the stock market do overall when we have a government shutdown. We're going to talk about that. We got a lot. Plus, charts, and more charts. So OC, chart number 1, Bitcoin. How's it looking right now? Let's go.
Let's get it. All right, guys. So this is Bitcoin chart. Remember that we had an open order one here at 108. So I was going to buy at 108, 106, and it's still 103 or 100K. This order is still open. All right. Those are regardless orders. Something important is that we barely did not hit it. So I was not my alert did not hit. and I was busy doing, the kitchen stuff, so I did not buy. Nonetheless, bringing up this chart right here, we did had a pretty substantial bounce up, breaking out now the dynamic reactor. Let's zoom in here and let's see how is that looking. So we didn't only broke this previous trend line, we also came back with with a lot of strength and pierced through that dynamic reactor. That is important because if this candle closes as is right now, this will be a big body candle going through the dynamic reactor, and that means, well, I confirm breakout. Like, for example, in here, we have that big body candle going through that dynamic reactor, confirm breakout. We're going to be looking for maybe 1 or 2 candles up, retracement, support, and continuation. If we lose the support, we're going to come back down, and I will be saying 110, 800 or something along those lines. Another important thing that I want to go over, very important, and let me go over this area here, is that I was looking for the third flat positive bearish continuation. Something important about this one, and I want you guys to notice it is, and I went back, let me just show you once again really quickly. If you go to your Discord and then you go to chart prime right here, and on the chart prime you look into your left and look for additional content, and on additional content, important classes. I know it's a little bit of a mouthful. And then your very first class. All right, let's bring that up. By the way, this is open for everyone, so if you want to go to my YouTube channel right there, this video, it's there for you. All right, this is the important part. Let me mute it so we don't have overlapping sound in here.
Yeah,
All
real
right,
fast before you go into that, guys. If you guys don't know, OC Guy uses his channel for all of his class uploads. So things like our AMA stuff is over there. If you're a member, that's where all the AMAs get hung at. And then also he's got classes that are here, open to the public. So you guys should go check out OC Guy's channel. It's not about monetization. He don't do lives over there. It's just all the education storage. It's the library, if you will. OC Guy library over there. So go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, I'm just using it as a drive, right? But yeah, also remember everything that it's on the YouTube channel. It's more granulated and well organized in the Discord. So if you want to have a like easier time, go check it out on the Discord. Or if you want, like to explore and see what's on there, go to my YouTube channel. It's just like a drive, right? It's a bunch of stuff in there. So going to this area right here, you'll see that we have the third part or the third way of a reversal, how reversals work. All right. Look at this reversal coming down, a little flag, and it ranges. Either get the hell out of there if you're looking for a long, all right, or wait for that further continuation. Position yourself at the top of the range and make sure it goes that you shorted. And let's see that example right here, how Bitcoin breaks with strength. We have a reversal. We range, all right. And then as we range like this, we have a continuation of the trend. This is either a flat pause of bullish or a flat pause of bearish, in this case, bearish continuation. All right. So let's go check that out and look at what I have circled. This is the important part, the reversal signal. All right. Where do we have this reversal? And I remember telling you guys, hey, this is not what you should have done. This is something that it's going to happen, right? So we were coming back down, reversal ranging, position yourself at the top of the range, and then coming back down. All right. We came back down in here, and I was looking for another flat pause of bearish continuation. But something important, we never had the reversal. So throughout the weekend, right here, at basically end of the Saturday here, I was still looking for a possible flashback down here, maybe a quick drop down, but something important, we did not have the reversal. So this did not become a flat positive bearish continuation. Instead, it became a Wyckoff reversal section 1, right? So basically, this is it. It went back up in here to the resistance, breaking through that dynamic reactor. We're looking for, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and then off we go. As a result, we have a lot of altcoins pumping. So, but that will be after the news. Turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Shout out to Wick589 dropping 5 Piper Academy memberships there. Appreciate you, bro. Billionaire Ronald, Wayne C, F Bomb, Duality C, and Isaac all picking up those gifted memberships. Shout out to Wick. Shout out to the new members there. Appreciate y'all being here. All right. So, IkiGai, I want to talk about that real fast because I had to go look it up. It's pretty interesting. So, this is what IkiGai is, why it's all over the chat. Alex O was talking about this morning, and it says it's a term that combines Iki in Japanese, which means life, and Gai, which is worth or value, translating for a reason for being or a reason to live. And it says if you want to be really happy, the IkiGai right in the middle there, what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. If you have all 4 of those, and you're doing what you love, the world needs it, people are paying you for it, and you're good at it, that's your IkiGai. So that's why you saw IkiGai all over the chat. Just so you know. Just so you know. Let's go jump over and talk about what I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now. Let's go there. There we go. Guys, right now we're running up on, so we got the fibs. I want to lay this out for you first. The fibs were pulled from the bottom after we had the pullback, our bottom to our top before the next pullback, right? And so the fib levels that I was watching there, and this is how I was able to call out on Friday that, hey guys, we're at critical support. Watch this level, 786 to the 887. That is your platinum pocket. If you guys want those levels, come back and grab them later. There they are. What I'm watching here, though, is we got the bounce here. We punched straight through the value area low. We punched straight through the golden pocket. We had a little bit of play here at the quantum reactor from Chart Prime. You can see gave us a little bit of resistance there, and then we come back through it. Once we break through that, we just crush straight through the 50% fib, straight through the dynamic reactor, and right now we're coming up onto the 382. You can see this was our previous resistance here, so be very careful at this point. If it's going to punch through and get a retest, great area for a long. But as of right now, we've got to get through 113,892. Bobby Wong, my buddy, was talking last night. He said, I'm looking for a short at 112.5. Well, that would have been pretty much this resistance level that we had right here. I said, be aware if we punch through that area, and we 113,892 might be the area to watch. So if he's watching this on playback a little bit later, Bobby Wong, let me know how you went with that trade, man. Looking here also, we were talking about the bull market support band and the quantum reactor, dynamic reactor. We drew this box in here last Friday morning, and look, that's our bounce. So if you guys got in on that, shout out to you guys. Swing Trade City over here on the Piper Academy Network. How are we looking on the dynamic reactor or the oscillator right now? Volume is pumping up. Money flow looks like it's coming up. We are getting a lot of triggered over bots going on the 4-hour. We did get a hidden bearish divergence. However, put this on the daily and just take, we'll go here. Take a look at all the oscillators. Put this on the daily and you'll see right now, we do have a histogram coming up. We did get a bounce and a transition line going on the prime oscillator for the daily, and we came out on the RSI prime really, really nice out of that below 30% level. We never did get a daily buy signal, bottoming signal, I should say, on the MVP oscillator. But if you take a look at how this is running for us right now, we are getting ready to cross the 50. That's the green line here, and the yellow, the 100 simple moving averages. So the 50-day and a 100-day simple moving average right now, getting ready to pass through it. I think right now we're looking pretty strong on the Bitcoin chart overall, guys. We'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead, though, and jump over into the news, and we'll get all of this going for us and break down what you guys need to know today. Let's go ahead and move this in there and go to the news. All right, guys, looking at the metrics here for Into the Cryptoverse this morning, we are seeing that we are currently sitting at $3.899 trillion on that total market cap for the crypto world. Trend line on this is at 4.426. Undervaluation right now is sitting at 11.91% undervalued. So as of right now, still below that median average. How about for the wristbands for the Bitcoin DCA plan, guys? We're sitting at 54.2, meaning it's still a 2x DCA. Last week, I did it, bought pretty much the bottom. I kicked in a little extra. I did a little more than 2x, but that's because my dollar cost average amounts were based on what I was sitting on for dry powder, and now it's based on the money that I added because we sold our house. So house is sold officially, and that money is rolling in on some Bitcoin now. Also, sold one hard asset, buy another hard asset. That's how you do it. Looking here at the alt season index, guys, 72.73%. We are just under the 75% level. We did not spend very much time in alt season at all. And as of right now, it does look like we are neither in Bitcoin nor alt season index. ROIs greater than Bitcoin right now, 32 of them, less than Bitcoin, 17. How about the X marks the spot? I got a lot here to go over today. Fear and greed index, we're sitting at 50. We're in neutral. We were in greed last Friday, or fear. I mean, last Friday I said, hey, we're in fear. Typically not a bad time to buy. That was on Friday. So, and we did. So Ethereum fear and greed right now sitting in neutral at 47. Michael Saylor, he bought some more Bitcoin, guys. He dropped this chart. When he drops that orange chart every week, on the weekend, that typically means you're going to see this on Monday, just so you guys know. So if you're on X and you see him drop the chart with all the bubbles and is like talking about the Bitcoin buy levels, that typically means on Monday morning you're going to see this. He acquired another 196 Bitcoin for $22.1 million. Who else said to buy Bitcoin, though? Problematic. Let me get a sound here. Jim Cramer said buy crypto after posting the national debt, guys. I don't know. You guys can take that one for what it's worth. Buck, I'm watching you, bro. Somebody put Buck in a timeout. I'm joking. So yeah, Jim Cramer said buy crypto. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he might be right this time. I think he might be right. There we go. Kabisi letter. Breaking. President Trump is imposing a 100% tariff on any movies made outside the U.S. So the tariff wars are still going on. That's just something to know. He's also wanting to do it for any furniture made outside the U.S. I don't know about you guys. Movies, sure, they probably make more than enough profit. But furniture makers, guys, do you want to spend the amount of money that it would cost to have all of your furniture made in the U.S.? Let me know in the chat. Would you pay U.S. prices on furniture made in the U.S.? I mean, if I could afford it all, sure, why not? I'll go with, quality made American products. But I think for the most part, you're probably looking at some very expensive furniture on that. Also, we'll show this later. We're going to talk about this. Government shutdown doesn't really matter for markets. Write it over and over again there. Just in, Bitcoin's hash rate hit a new all-time high. Buck and I talked about this last week about how, typically when we are at the top, the hash rate starts to get a little wonky. We haven't seen it at all this season. We're actually seeing that hash rate just continues to make new all-time highs. So we need to have Buck. Talk about that in the Discord or something one of these days.
What's that? Yellow line? In that yellow line is going to be the bear market of Bitcoin, right? It's going to be so bad that it's going to be even going back in time and in price.
I don't know, man. It just won't stop, OC. What else we got here? This is a pretty interesting thing. Everyone talks about alt this, alt that, alt this. But I actually, I don't really approach it that way. I'm going to bring it up here and I'll bring you on with me, OC, and we'll go through the rest of the news together. But there's a great point here talking about what you should invest in. And I focus primarily on about 5 things, really. And I think that this is a really good explanation of that. So let's play this.
Ted Williams wrote a book called The Science of Hitting. And in The Science of Hitting, he's got a diagram, shows him at the plate. And he's got the strike zone divided into 77 squares, each the size of a baseball. And he says, if I only swing at pitches in my sweet zone, which he shows there, and he has what his batting average would be, which is 400. If he had to swing at low outside pitches, but still in the strike zone, his average would be 230. He said the most important thing in hitting is waiting for the right pitch. Now, he was at a disadvantage because if the count was 0-2 or 1-2 or so on, even if that ball was down where he was only going to bat 230, he had to swing at it. In investing, there's no called strikes. People can throw Microsoft at me and you name it, any stock, General Motors, and I don't have to swing. And nobody's going to call me out on called strikes. I only get a strike called if I swing at a pitch and miss. So I can wait there and look at thousands of companies day after day, and only when I see something I understand and when I like the price at which it's selling, then if I swing, if I hit it, fine. If I miss it, it's a strike. But it's an enormously advantageous game, and it's a terrible mistake to think you have to have an opinion on everything. You only have to have an opinion on a few things. In fact, I've told students, if when they got out of school, they got a punch card with 20 punches on it, and that's all the investment decisions they got to make in their entire life, they would get very rich because they would think very hard about each one. And you don't need 20 right decisions to get very rich. 4 or 5 will probably do it over time.
So, OC, your thoughts on that, man? What do you think? Does he have a great point there? Learn 4 or 5 things really well, understand how they move, and invest in those 4 or 5 things. Because we see people all the time asking about this crazy coin and that crazy coin. And I think at the end of the day, me personally, I think that you create too much noise for you to focus on the things you know the best. What are your thoughts, though?
Absolutely. And I think first answering your question, I think he is right. If you just had to invest in 20 things in all your life and you go with that mentality, you're going to get very rich because as he mentioned, you're going to study it. You're going to be committing to it. And remember, you only have 20 chances and that's it. Right? That's it. But I would say it's something more important that I always keep repeating. And this is because of the new students coming in, right? Try on jumping into trading in general, not only students, but jumping in trading in general. They got the brand new shiny indicator, and all right. So what does it tell me to buy and long, buy or sell, right? And why am I not into a long right now, right? And from this point, is it gonna be moving up or down? And in many cases, the answer is I don't know and I don't care, right? And that's what they get surprised, especially when we are kind of like in a one-on-one. We used to do those, and they told me, "Hey, I paying this one-on-one, so you tell me if this is going up from now or down from now." And you know what? I cannot tell you that. I don't know it. I just know things that I understand, right? And right now we don't have the momentum, we don't have the strength, we don't have this, and this and that. And that is how I introduce them sometimes, like into, hey, it's not about knowing exactly the next movement. It's about understanding, right? And then if it pumps from here, right? Well, let it go. I don't care. And then when it comes down, breaks out, comes back for the retest and bounces off the retest, that is when I jump in, right?
Yep.
And I just
Yep.
repeat, rinse and repeat. And that's it.
Absolutely. Crypto Trade said, he said, why not become a master of a few instead of getting wrecked by a lot? FOMO control and trust your analysis. That's it, man. That's it right there. All right, OC, let's jump over here. Let's continue going through the rest of the news. We got the crypto bubbles. Actually, we got liquidations. Let's talk about those. In the past 24 hours, 105,807 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $426 million on that pump of wiping people out that were shorting. Matter of fact, last night I saw it was $75 million got liquidated in shorts in 60 minutes, 1 hour. So there you go. Largest single liquidation was on Hyperliquid. It was an ETH trade for 26 million bucks on a single trade. What are we looking like today? Everything up on the daily and the hourly right now, pretty much. We got Bitcoin up 3.8%. What's the big movers today? 4.6 on Solana, 4.5 on BNB, 7.3% on Hyperliquid. OC, we talked about Hyperliquid last week and said you might be at this level. There you go, guys. Up 7.3% on the daily right there after that sell-off that it had. Yeah, that's pretty much everything else is in the 3 to 4%. Looking pretty strong today. How about the stock market? How is that looking? Let's give it a little refresh here. Make sure we got the most recent data. Looks like we do, though. Let me update my little iPad over here, too. I like to watch this all the time, so when I don't have it up here, it's over there. Right now, looking at the Dow Jones, down pretty flat, about 0.04% to the downside. S&P's up about 0.46, and NASDAQ almost up 1% today. Even the Russell 2K in the green up about a little under 0.2% there. And the VIX 1590. 17 is where you got to start watching the volatility. Nothing major there yet. How about the bond market? 10-year U.S. down It's at 4.146. We are seeing that get bought up a little bit today, but take a look at the precious metals. Holy balls in the chat, please. Here, let me do it. I'll get some holy balls in the chat. There we go. Holy balls in the chat. Gold is at $3,854 last week. Again, we talked about it. I said, guys, don't try to short gold. It's going to keep going higher. Silver, I said, I'm looking at $50 to sell it. It's at $46.89. And matter of fact, I think silver might have actually hit a little bit above that level. Let's see here. What did it hit? What was its highest that it hit? I think it was like $47 or $48. I don't know. Daily low, daily high, 47.41 is what it hit there. So, yeah, silver continuing to do quite well. Also, copper's up today. Platinum is up 1.84, and palladium is going its way down right now, down 0.7% today on palladium. Let's go look at the economic calendar, talk about what all we got going on this week. Man, pending home sales month over month came in at 9 o'clock, top of the hour when we went live, OC. Was negative,
Nice.
negative 0.3. Consensus was that it would be positive 0.3, 0.3. 1.7 was the forecast. Came in at 4.0% upside there. So month over month sales, pending home sales, month over month, it is up. Pending home sales for year over year, which is expected to be 1.9 to 3.8. People are buying houses right now. They're either getting tired of sitting around waiting for those those yields to come down so that their mortgage is lower, or they're getting offered some really good deals from the home builders, new home builders. And Billy Goattail, shout out to Crypto Billy, he knows all about that. That is the business he's in. They can buy up a lot. IkiGai, I'm a very icky guy. They can buy up a lot of mortgages all at once and offer some much better deals than what you will get from a bank on your mortgage deal. And then they're also throwing in like $100,000 in upgrades and stuff like that instead of dropping the prices. So yeah, 3.8%. We're seeing strength in the home market right now. What else we got going on this week? Tomorrow, we're going to get JOLTS job openings. That's going to be a point of volatility, in my opinion. Right now, it's at 7.18 million. Previously, consensus that'll be 7.1 million, forecast and consensus. If this comes in flat, no problem, no harm, no foul. If this comes in higher, that means that it's a less likely chance that the Fed is going to cut rates in October. We'll talk about those in a second, what that's looking like. If this comes in higher than 7.18 million, that means that there are more job openings, meaning that the job market is strong and we have a less likely chance of getting a rate cut in October. If it comes in lower than this, then that increases the chance of a rate cut. So make sure tomorrow morning you're watching the JOLTS job openings here. We're also going to get some more data coming in on Wednesday. That's ISM manufacturing. This is your manufacturing index, your inflation rate. This is expected to be slightly higher, meaning inflation is high, which would be really bad if jobs are low and inflation is still high. That's called stagflation. And then we'll get in on Friday, and this is going to be your big date this week for numbers. We're going to get ISM services PMI. We're also going to get non-farm payrolls, which is expected right now to be much higher. And then we're expected to see unemployment rate be flat. So as of right now, it looks like we could have a really good week ahead of us. But if these numbers come in any different than what we're seeing here, and they're either too high or too low, depending on what it is, inflation too high, job numbers too low, then we could see a sell-off. But as of right now, based on the consensus and forecast, fingers crossed, we are looking like we could have a good week ahead of us. How about that CME flashbang on the screen? Shout out to Alex O Crypto. How are we looking here? Right now, we're looking at an 89.3% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut, 10.7% chance of no rate cut. So no change, a pause, continuation. So that's what we're at right now for October. Of course, the data this week will change that, and we'll keep an eye on it throughout the week. Quarterly returns right now for Bitcoin, guys, we're up for September 3.63%. And I did say that I thought we would have our bottom in September, and then October would be a pump. So almost finishing this out. We did get quite a sell-off in September on the chart. We hit, I think Friday may have been the local low, and now we got to watch for Uptober, Pumptober, however you want to say it. But as of right now, Bitcoin poised to do a continuation. This is the government shutdown we got to talk about. And first off, let's go over here. Let's look at Poly Market. U.S. government shutdown by October 1st. We're currently sitting at a 63% chance of a government shutdown, according to Poly Market. Trump has also threatened that he will fire mass firings of federal workers if the government shutdown isn't averted. What would this look like from job numbers? This is just fuel on the fire, in my opinion, for a already bad economy. The White House renewed warnings that thousands of government jobs could be on the line if lawmakers can't reach a deal. President Donald Trump warned Sunday of widespread layoffs if the federal government shuts down this week. We are going to cut a lot of people that we're able to cut on a permanent basis. I'd rather not do that. So overall, let's talk about if we do get a government shutdown. OC. If we get a government shutdown, how do you think the markets will do?
Pump.
You think it'll pump? Okay. He
No,
said
I think, to be honest, I think we're gonna see people
things that
panicking
pump
a
the
little bit,
market for
and then
500, Alex. Well, I had a good old Chat GPT go pull and aggregate all the data, because if you guys don't know, overall, we typically do pretty good. And I have a theory on that. Markets have shown some clear historical patterns around U.S. government shutdowns, though the effects tend to be short-lived and more about sentiment than lasting fundamentals. Keep that in mind. Short term, stocks usually dip at the onset. Investors dislike uncertainty, so equities often sell off in the days leading up to or just after the shutdown. Volatility spikes. The VIX, the VIX, you guys know that thing that we always talk about? It will usually, it will rise as traders hedge risk and safe havens see inflows. Treasuries, gold, the dollar as the risk, as investors de-risk. I think much less the dollar now, and I think you can add Bitcoin in there. That's my opinion. Losses are usually modest. Looking at the shutdown since 1970s, S&P has fell about 0.6%. Recoveries are fast. Recoveries are fast. Keep that in mind. Once funding deals are reached, markets often rebound within days or weeks. Example, during 2018-2019 shutdown, the longest one, it was 35 days, S&P 500 actually gained nearly 10% because broader market forces outweighed the shutdown itself. Sectors like defense and contractors often dip due to delayed payments. Okay, that makes sense. Consumer sectors, minimal direct impact hitting the consumer. We'll just keep going. Financial, sensitive to market volatility, but rarely see lasting effects. The big picture, government shutdowns are more of a headline risk than a systemic market risk. Long-term investors typically ride them out without major changes, as history shows shutdowns don't derail bull markets or cause recessions on their own. So I'm thinking this, if we get our government shutdown tomorrow, if that happens by, the first, I guess it would be not tomorrow, Wednesday, then we could be looking at a good moment for the DCA. And I have a theory that things do better in the bull market or do better in government shutdowns because people go, the government can't F anything up. So why?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's why. So yeah, that's what I'm watching there, guys. Don't worry about the government shutdown. I'm not. Personally, I think I'm going to use it as my opportunity to DCA this week on that initial pullback, and then we'll ride it even higher. But overall, the stock market doesn't really have a reason to sell off on this government shutdown. That's my opinion, just my humble opinion, but I'm an IkiGai. What do I know? Shout out to the Otter Gang. By the way, Alex, if you're still here, I got my Otter Gang mug today. I'm drinking my coffee. I don't have the shirt on, but I want you to send me the logo, the OG logo, so I can get it put right here. I want an OG, and that way I can make this my OG hat every Monday, because sometimes, I don't do laundry on the weekend. I wait and do it later in the week, and I don't have my shirt clean. So I want to get an OG hat, and I'm going to put it on the Peaky Blinder. I think it works well. OG hat, OG logo. OC, what do you got for us, man? Let's go take a look at some of the alts and stuff. Let's take a look at gold for sure. I do want to show, if you want to get those pulled up, I'll go ahead and show what I want to show. We do have a CME gap, if you guys don't know. There is a CME gap. And then OC is going to pull those up, and we'll talk about that. You guys remember this one back here in August? And I said, look, we got a big CME gap, goes all the way up to about 116,870. I think we're going to head up there. And then look, over time, these are dailies. Over time, we got up there and closed it. It couldn't really do much higher. It did a swing fail pattern above it, but then it came back down. Guys, when I tell you these things and people go, I don't know if it's going to go up, I think we're going to continue down. CME gaps do usually get filled. On that note, we just set one from Friday to now. 26 September CME gap. Bottom side of this is actually sitting at about 109,765. So 109,765 still exists. And that might be where I would go. You know what? Government shutdown scares the markets. If we go down to that level, that's my DCA level. So, OC, what do you got for us, though, man? Let's go talk about gold. Let's go talk about them alts, and let's see what you got.
Absolutely. So let's get started with gold here. We're looking at this area right there, and well, talking about the support that the trend line did represent, right? So we had a breakout retest. So on that retest, we were expecting a little bit of the same. We were hitting bottoms or previous highs becomes new, previous resistance becomes new support. Right here we have that. Look at this. If I bring, well, let me just bring up a horizontal line. That'll be much better. There you go. If we bring up this horizontal, you see that we were very, very close to it. We were expecting to hit the trend line in here and then bounce up. But as soon as we were breaking, remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest and continuation. So we did talk about this right here being your next opportunity of entering, waiting for that retest continuation. Right now, we're pumping on gold, and I believe that we're going to be doing a little bit of the same throughout this week. All right, so does that mean that you need to enter right here not to lose the pump? No, remember, you don't buy at resistances. You don't buy when it still is going up, right? And remember, this is a little bit of what we have seen on what we have talked about always, right? And what we have seen on Twitter with that video. Well, you just wait to see something that you understand, right? So do you know that if this is going to be going up or retracing? No. What I do understand is that when we have a flag and we hit support or we break the flag to the upside, I'm going to be waiting for the retest and continuation. And that circle was very offline. There we go. So the same thing we're going to be doing in here. So let's go and check out our predictive ranges, and hold and behold, there it is. We are getting into a golden predictive range. These open up the possibility for a possible little rejection and then continuation, again going to previous previous resistance becomes new support. Something important, it is that on our oscillator, we are making that flip of the ribbon, or we are about to make that flip of the ribbon, while in our linear regression, we can still go higher. So be careful in here, because the next target would be 3,926. And oh God, that is a very nice target to reach. So here is, I would say that we're going to be having that little retracement in between 3,775 and 3,797. So if we have that retracement, wait for your oscillator to come back up, and that will be your triggering zone where you are planning to buy, because gold is right now unstoppable. Look at that. It is doing pretty good. So let's go check out a couple of other altcoins in here. And I want to go over BNB.
Real fast,
there it is.
OC, while you're in there. Shout out to FD White. He's not in here right now, but FD White and I, we're really good friends. Let me turn on my camera. There we go. He actually said, because he bought his gold at like $1,670, something like that. He's actually selling a bunch of his gold right now. He thinks that at $4,000, well, not right now, at $4,000, he's going to sell a bunch of it, and he's flipping it all to Bitcoin. I think he may have actually started selling some off at its current level, but his goal is $4,000 on gold. And so if that's the case, and he flips it over to Bitcoin, I think that might be a good play for him. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, it would be fantastic. I mean, if we got it in 1,000 something, dude, that is like what,
1670? Yeah. So he's way up. Now he's going to flip hard assets to hard assets, folks. Hard assets. Sold a house, take the profits, put it in Bitcoin. Made a bunch of money on gold, sold the gold, put it in Bitcoin. Hard asset to hard asset is the play. And I just want to know your thoughts on that. I read that this morning. I was like, Smart dude over there with the cool kids. So I did not say sell your crypto now. What are you talking about, JR? Hard assets to hard assets. All right, OC, what else you got for us, bro?
Perfect. All right, so let's go check out a couple of other icons in here. This is something important. This is what we've been hitting, like for example, in BNB, 1000 or 104 as targets. Here it is, 104, like right here. So we were looking for that reversal coming in here, making that breakout retest continuation, basically hitting the first setup right there, getting at two reversal zones. But the candle still pushes upwards. So that means that look at the strength. We still have strength, and this then will be converting into a goose head most likely, which means further continuation down, little retracement, and then bigger retracement, right? So this is what I'm expecting on BNB. Be a little bit careful because right now we might be seeing a little bit of that volume that rushed in to BNB from a hyperliquid, right, to BNB as a collateral, and then now rushing back out as hyperliquid gets back its liquidity. Talking about other coins in here, there we go. Let me go over XRP. XRP, we have also a 2.87 zone to 2.87 zone right here, basically ringing yesterday right there on the range. So we have not yet lost the range, but this is something important. We already have the goose head. The goose head, remember, means a further, a little retracement for a further continuation, and then a bigger movement to the downside. So important. Are we in shorting zones? I would say yes, as long as Bitcoin doesn't pump like very, very hard and gets everything with it. Let's go check out grass in here because we were talking about long in grass. We were looking for this double bottom. Here we go at 0.81 as a target. Let's go check out that. The next target will be at 0.98. So 0.98. It was all the way up in here. There we go. As we have another reversal coming back down. And I think we are following this trend line in here. So let's see, because this one is not breaking through the zero line right here. We might be coming back down, not too low, but maybe something like this. And then we might have another opportunity to jump back into grass. Another one that we jumped in, I want to go, there is hyper liquid. This is it. And guys, I want to talk about our system of our managing system, right? This is important. Let me show you how it works. Remember, we have a limited amount of capital, all right? It doesn't matter how much money you have on your wallet, you have a limited amount of capital, all right? This is important because when you want to make profits and you're not 100% sure on your trade, well, you can manipulate 3 or 4 different things. One of those being first your leverage. The second of all is how much money you put in and where, which takes me to the third one, where you put that money, and finally where you place your stop loss. All right. So look at that. We had 2/4 of an entry. For me, 1 and 3 equals a 3%. A quarter of an entry means a quarter of a 3%. All right. And then if we did 2 entries, the first entry right here and the second entry right there, we had it marked. Here it is. So we're only risking 1/2 of a position. All right. 1/2 of a full position. This is important because remember, in this case, I was not like, like not trusting into the market, maybe waiting for a strip of the lows in here. So a swing failure pattern and then turning it around. And what I did is allocate once again the first quarter, the second quarter. As soon as we hit, we have an average. This is my average box. Basically, my entry, as soon as I hit this entry right here, my average entry. Oh, this is not it. Let me maybe just lock that one. All right. This is the one that's going to get edit. There it is. It goes up in here. What happens when I average up my position? Well, then when it comes back down, first body in weak in the green, I move my stop to entry, and then almost immediately it takes me out. So did I risk first? Did I risk a full position? No. Did I got hit? No. So basically, this was a free trade. No losses, no gains, but still a good area to learn, right? So this is the area. This is how risk management it's done here, or at least in the late show. So this is why we always move our stop to entry as soon as possible, right? Especially when we're dividing area. So other than that, we can see, let me clear this up. We can see the liquidity coming back into hyper liquid, breakout, retest, previous supports, previous resistance become new support. Once again, I think we should be looking into a trend line right here, and this is going to be our next target. So maybe doing something like that before we start piercing back above that zero line, if we are able to survive this upcoming flip of the ribbon, which I think we are going to. So let me lock this trend line right here and add a alert, and that will be my next entry right there.
Shout out to oh God, who was it? Who just said that comment? That was so funny. Gen X fairy godmother. I'm thinking about making a support and resistance group, and then Lunar Beach just called it the resistance support group. So that's brilliant. As JR said there, absolutely brilliant. If you guys have lost a lot of money in your trades or your hodl bags and they're sitting way down right now, Gen X fairy godmother's got a support group for you called the resistance support group. So that's great. Yeah, I was looking over here, OC, because I like to just, while you're doing your charts, I like to go see if I missed anything. There's JR, by the way, tagging me yesterday about the orange chart. This is the chart that I'm talking about that Michael Saylor drops right before we get the Monday release of, hey, I bought more Bitcoin. So, yep, there you go. Keep an eye on that one. JR's watching it. He knows. And then look, FD White, evidently right about the time that I was prepping for the show, he tagged me on his thing. I didn't even comment on it. He just tagged me. Selling gold position at 4K. Ben Ince at 1674, converting to Biddy. RB Piper, what do you think, bro? Right at more? I said, I just talked about you in this decision on the show. So FD White tagging me. He wants to know what I'm thinking out there. So evidently 4K, he wants to know, do I think it's going higher? Yes, I do. I think we actually see 5K gold. And I've said that for months now. Said that when we broke 3,000. I think we're going to see $5,000 gold. And I think we're going to see $50 silver. So, which we're damn close to already. I might need to up that number a little bit. Hey, OC, do you remember when last week when Jerome Powell, which I think was a cause for some of the sell-off we saw, he said, hey, the stock market's looking a little overheated right now, right? Looking a little hot. Do you remember that comment from Jerome Powell last week when he was at his speech and had a little market sell-off going on because everyone thought, oh no, Jerome Powell said it's overbought. Does he know something? And he's trying to warn everyone. Remember that?
Yes.
Check this out, guys. How does the stock market do after Federal Reserve chairs warn of high stock prices? So let's go take a look here. This will be pretty interesting, guys. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said last week that equities are fairly highly valued. Such warnings haven't kept the stock market from going higher in the past. Might have sold off last week, but that was opportunity knocking, and we tell you guys take advantage of opportunity all the time here on the show. JP Morgan strategist Fabio Bassi looked at the S&P 500 returns after Powell, as well as previous Fed Chair Alan Greenspan, Ben Bernanke, and Janet Yellen issued similar warnings. On average, the benchmark return 8.5% to investors 6 months after and nearly 13% the year following. In fact, the S&P saw a return of 27.2% after Greenspan famously sounded the alarm back in 96 about irrational exuberance in the market. Stocks returned 22.6% in the 12 months after Powell said in December 2020 that equity valuations were high. So historically, we see the returns come in pretty damn good after Fed chairmen say things look overheated. Historically, we have a much better. Also, when you have rate cuts that take place within 2% of the all-time high on markets, stock market S&P has typically seen a 22% return 12 months after that rate cut happens. So we got a rate cut. near 2% of the all-time high, meaning that we're probably going to go even higher on that. And if we're going higher on that, we have to consider that Bitcoin may do something into 2026. And OC, in his call that he made almost 2 years ago, maybe absolutely 100% correct. If you guys don't know, there was a video done on our channel called Bitcoin Price Prediction video. Alex O's on it, OC, Lunar Beaches, myself, Tradefly. You guys should go watch that video. OC made a pretty interesting call about a 2026 all-time high on an extended cycle, and we all went, the 4-year cycle, what? Yeah, so you guys should go watch that. It's a really good video. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's got like 15,000 views on it. It's pretty good. Matter of fact, I think my call on it was like 225 or 212. I think Lunar Beaches was like 202. Trade Flies was 88,000. I don't remember what Alex O's was, 215 maybe, or 190. I don't remember what Alex O's was. Alex, if you're still here, let us know. I don't remember what your call was. But then OC came in with a $500,000 price prediction on Bitcoin. So it was pretty mathematical. There you go. There's a link right there. Alexander G just dropped it. You guys should go check out that video, though. The mathematical genius behind OC's chart will it'll make you go, I'm not smart enough to be here. That's what I thought when he did it. But yeah, $500,000 Bitcoin. OC, what else are you watching right now? We're talking about higher levels on this. And obviously, the altcoins are going to get some movement. Not all of them. I don't think we're going to have like a full on alt season tidal wave, right? I think it's going to go sector to sector, but we'll see it, stabilize, pump another sector, pump, stabilize another sector, pump, stabilize. That is a very possible scenario. Alex was 212. LBC said, cool. There we go. So yeah, guys could check that video. Lunar Beaches was 202. Bingo, bingo. There you go. So yeah, what are you watching on altcoins, OC, for some like levels, like some top down high time frame levels that you're watching on some of the biggest altcoins right now? Are we going to see those get to new highs? Your thoughts on this? We'll go ahead and kick it over to you. You can pull up just one or two, but I'm curious to see, do you think that these things are going to hit some new highs here soon?
Well, let's go first really quickly go over what's going on here because something interesting is happening. Look at SEC. SEC is one of those very old coins, right, that's still around. So that tells me that we're going to be looking at some old assets, some old hard assets back again. And we're going to be concentrating between meme coins and, well, I would say that first generation assets. So look at first and second generation assets. Like look at Litecoin, ADA, some oldies. So let's go check them out really quickly. So right here, I have my top-down analysis area, and let's go check, for example, Ethereum. Ethereum, we're having that inverse head and shoulder that also Bitcoin is having. So we need to pay attention to it because we have, there we go, a swing failure patterning here coming out, making that in cricket down. What is it? Lost like crypto, teddy bear in Spanish. Oh, yeah. It is. So kind of like having this inverted head and shoulders breaking through, still not through that zero line. We have a possible reversal. I think we might have a secondary opportunity to jump back in here, and then off we go. So it's not about the breakout. This breakout, it's about your retest. Maybe these other retest, and off we go. There's a little chance, though, that retest breakout happens in here. Much better if it happens higher. And that is because we will have a quote-unquote certainty. Again, quote-unquote certainty that this is going to go through that dynamic reactor, all right? So let's go also check out, for example, XLM. Let's go to the daily because I have an old prediction. This is it. Basically, we were on a decreasing range or a wedge, tightening wedge, and right here we were expecting some breakouts. We haven't had the breakout just yet, but we are on our way to do so. So let's do this a little bit more professionally, looking something like this, going through this high, and as far up as we can on these highs. And there we go. We're still missing just a little bit. But look at here, we have bullish divergence, we have possible reversal up, right? We only need these to flip up, or even better yet, if you have this money flow, well, look at your money flow, and when we start rising on and breaking through, that will be your rising signal, your entering signal. So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and then off we go. So looking at Stellar Lumen, by the way, or Stellar, as we have it in here. BNB, we already talked about BNB. Dogecoin, not doing that great, although we did a lot of money on the short. On Solana, let's go over Dogecoin, for example. I think it's some of the ones that are going to be doing great. Let's go over it daily, and we are on entering zones. Does that mean that we should be buying right now? No, of course not. We need to start either getting out or having that peak performance diamond. We already have something that resembles a flip of the ribbon, and we have a peak seeker. Let's go to the 4 hours and see if we have that entry zone. And so far, we have it. We do have a goose head, which means a further continuation up for then a big retracement like this. So we still need to be a little bit careful on that area. But other than that, that's what I got on altcoins.
Awesome. And we're about at the top of the hour. We're about to head over to Crypto Coin Mindset. Keith and T.I. Joe over there about to start live here in just a couple of minutes. Shout out to Trobius. He's just joined into our Discord and asked about the DCA plan. Got a whole recorded class right there. I dropped you a link for it. So hopefully you go check it out. But every week we drop the DCA levels for multiple altcoins to include Bitcoin, of course, and it's been doing very well. Matter of fact, everything that we have been DCAing into, all in profits because we also bought in the dip. Hopefully you guys did. So that's what the whole idea about it is. The deeper it goes, the more we multiply our DCA. It's not hey, I got $25 a week. Let me do $25 every week. We will outperform that DCA strategy every time, every single time I put money on it. We will crush it over the long term with our DCA multiplier. So that's why it's called dynamic dollar cost averaging. So say it with me. Osito. Is that what we're going to say? Lost on crypto? I don't know. OC, appreciate you being here, bro. Always a pleasure to have you as my co-host. I DCA today, Alexandra said. So shout out to Alexandra G, the mod queen. Appreciate everyone that joined us in here. You guys are awesome. We will be back here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss OC tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with trade setups with IkiGai. He'll be here educating the masses. So that's what he does. So and then tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be back with Good Morning Crypto, early morning hours. And then we will be here at 10 a.m. talking about the economic data and what you guys need to know, because knowledge is profit, guys. And that's why we do what we do. El Cito El Guapo, Gen X Fairy Godmother said. We will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Until then, trade safe. Use some risk management. What's the other line, OC? Damn it. And as always, peace, love, profits.
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
And then 500,000. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Peace, guys.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
They
one.
don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. 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 Out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?